departments or business areas, there will be always an inflow and outflow of data, wherein finance people have to wait until an administration department gives the data to finalize or to write accounts or to generate a report and know what is the status of the particular business. So something like this, it's a normal thing, like when it comes to business terms and all, you will have different business areas called as finance, accounts and all. In the same way, for each and every department, or which is also called as business area, they need a small software, let's say. Okay, now it is manual system where they just want to get into computerization. Finance people need one screen where they can enter all the details. They also need a report where at the end of the day they just want to generate what transactions have been done or what are the incomes they have received this day and what are the payments they have done. Okay, what is the available cash and what transactions has been happened. All this they want to just show the details and they want a report. They want to display something on a paper, so they will be generating a report. So it means simply you can say like every department needs a small software wherein they need a screen as well as once they enter everything easily as a user data entry screen, and they also need something as a report to generate it. Now for finance people they need some screens. In the same way for sales people they need some screens. Okay, HRMS they need some screens. Customer relationship management. Okay, customer relation. They need these people need some screens like this. So everyone need a small software. So Oracle application gives a complete package for the entire organization. It means for finance people it has developed some screens and developed a small software. For sales people it has developed a small software. For HRMS it has developed a small software. It has clubbed all the small many software into one complete set of package which is required for an organization. A complete software package, a ready-made package which has been developed for each and every business area, just based on the research what they have done. Like when they have started developing a software, they have gone to each and every department. They asked, hey, what are the screens you look like? I mean, what are the screens for you're looking for? How the screen should look like, and what kind of reports you expect every day or daily, monthly or yearly. Okay, let's say if you say finance screen, what are the columns you have to enter all the fields. So they just took all the requirements and they started developing a complete software wherein your enterprise, it means your organization, where you have different areas and different people resources, and you can plan for all the resources to use the software to interchange the data. Now, as I said, there will be always an inflow and outflow between these areas, between these departments like finance, sales, and HR. Now, in your complete software from finance, okay, the data will flow to customer relationship management. Okay, in the same way, from sales, the data will flow to finance people. Like this. So finance people need not wait for sales people to come and give a paper, a white paper or a printed paper until the data is there, or someone need not walk to other desk of sales people. Hey, I'm just waiting. Can you give all the details? I have to generate the report. They can just pull out the data in a computerization system, and there is always an integration relation between the sales and finance people. Whenever the sales people enter anything there, finance people can also see, hey, what sales have been done, what incomes have been received. Okay, because payments will be done by finance people, right? Once he sells also, whatever the amount is received, that amount will be received by finance people. In the same way, when you purchase something, say payments are done with the finance people. Like this, it is an integrated software, I can say. Oracle ERP is a complete ERP software ready-made package which is integrated between different business areas, okay, wherein the data will be inflow and outflow, and the complete set of package which is used for a complete enterprise to plan your business properly. Okay, that's a simple definition of an Oracle ERP software. Now, a ready-made software which is already available, when a customer when a client, you can say client or customer want to computerize a system, he will just go to Oracle Corporation, which has developed this software, and he will buy this software for the number of licenses, and how many users will be using this software, he will be telling it, and he will be buying the software, and then he will get installed that software in his system, okay, and he'll start using it. So who will be installing this? Okay, basically when you talk about ERP software, majorly you will see 3 people working for this software as a consultants. People who work are called as consultant. Okay, not developers, software developers or software engineers, because software developers or software engineers are people called who develop a software. The software is already developed by Oracle. It is already done. It's a product which is available. Now this has to be installed to the customer who is buying it. In the same way, we have to support that customer. So whenever a client wants to buy a software, he will consult 3 people. One is functional consultant. Next is technical consultant. And the first important person is DBA, who is called as apps DBA. In DBA you have 2 things. Database administrator who works in normal for every database, and for apps it's separate, apps DBA. Okay, apps DBA is the first person who will be installing the software for the client. Okay, basically database administrator will be installing the software, taking the backup, okay, recovery, helping whenever you get some kind of issues. Like a network engineer, in the same way database side, if you have any issues, he will fix it. Next is a functional consultant. Who is a functional consultant? Functional consultant is the person who will be interacting with a client, okay, and helping him to understand the software, because software is a new and a product. A functional consultant who knows already about that software will help the client to understand what this particular software is, okay, in which business areas he need to concentrate, and like how this software should be used. He'll be giving a training to the client, and at the same time how good this software can be utilized for him, and in which business areas it can be utilized, and what what is that business of the client, and what is the product giving. He will be mapping the business to the software product. It means he will understand the client requirement, the business, okay, first, and he will see that how best this particular software supports him or matches to his business. So first of all, when a client wants to buy any software, okay, any Oracle ERP software, he will consult directly Oracle, and he will ask, hey, I need a software. But then before going to the software, the client want to understand, the customer or the client want to understand how actually this software will help him. So a functional consultant will guide, hey, if you take this software, these are the screens what you have. This can be used in your sales area. This can be used in your finance area. See how these reports are. These reports will help you in so and so kind of reports what you can generate at the month end. Okay, these reports will tell you the final financial status of your business once you run this. For this, you have to just enter all the details here. Like this, he will guide and he will train almost the product, saying this is how. Like it's something like a business, like marketing, doing a sales. functional consultant will also involve in kind of sales. When a customer gets into any particular shop or something, if you want to buy a product, what they do, they just tell about the features of the product, how best that product can be used, all these details. Okay, the same functional consultant will explain the client how best the software can be used. Now, after reviewing the software with a functional consultant, okay, he will sit with the functional consultant. He will discuss. Okay, fine. This screen is looking good to me. Okay, the finance screen should look like. Fine, the customer screen should look like. So all this he just agrees, and he will take the software. But this software, Oracle application software, is developed on a generic basis. It's a generic software. It means when you say an employee screen, you know employee number, employee name, salary, house rent allowance, HRA, then bonus, kind of columns have to be exist on the screen, and they have developed a software. But it may not be 100% suitable for every business client. Okay, some clients may say, hey, this software looks good to me, but then 80% looks good to me, 20% is missing. I need some more reports, okay, or I need some more screens, or some screens have to be modified because it's huge. I don't want all this details. And in my organization, I don't have a concept of bonus. Why did you put the column called as bonus there? Can you remove that? Because that gives a chance to an employee saying that, hey, we don't have a bonus every time to remember, right? So why can't you remove that column for me? Okay, because I have developed this software on a generic basis, like every employee will be having bonus, or employer screen should have bonus kind of. So we can't modify the original software. So what we will do is, please buy this software, okay, and we will modify that screen for you. We will remove that bonus column, okay, and as you said, you don't have some reports. Okay, let's say he say, I want a report to give all the details of employee, but I don't get any report here when I run. I have some few reports, an employee detailed report, employee salary report, calculation report, but however, like I want all the details in one report. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. So like this, he will find out, functional consultant and the client will find out something called as gaps. Okay, this is called as gap analysis after buying the software. So once the software is bought, the DBA is the first person. For the discussion part itself, when the client want to buy the software, he will take the help of functional consultant. Normally, if he want to go to Oracle, he will go and he will say, I need one person who can help me to better understand this software. So Oracle can provide a functional consultant because they will have people who are working as a functional consultant. But then he may also come to other company like TCS or Satyam or something and say, I'm planning to buy an ERP software, and I want a functional consultant. So the consulting company, these are called as consulting companies, service companies. So they say that fine, I'll give you a functional consultant, but how about the project, in case when you're taking this software, who's helping you to install it? I can give you a DBA, I can give you a functional consultant. Buy the software, later after buying the software, we can support you. So that is how a project gets into. So then he says, the client says, okay, fine, let's work out. Let's go for a discussion, and then let's see, like in case if I'm impressed or I'm interested in the software, I'll buy and I'll give you the deal for you. Okay, I'll give you the project for you wherein you can assist me, which is less charge, right? When you go for an Oracle, they may charge you $100, and when you go for TCS, they may charge you $20. So that's how they just get into. That's how the project comes in. Okay, project flow. So then TCS will give one DBA and one functional consultant and one technical consultant later, but for now they'll give you a functional consultant. Now functional consultant and client will sit together after buying the software. They'll find out all the gaps. Before buying the software itself, they'll identify some gaps, but functional consultant keeps saying that no, this screen can be modified. Fine, no problem, don't worry. Okay, you can take it. I mean, reports what you're saying missing, yes, we can do it. So he'll be giving that particular assurance to the client saying that yes, we can do. Now once the software is taken, they'll install it, they will sit, they will identify like how this particular software is best utilized to the business. They will map to the business. Mapping to the business is nothing but they will check with the business what requirement it is, how best the screens and the reports can be used, this software can be used. Now once this is done, they will find out the gaps, whatever it is they're missing things, and they will do a gap analysis. So what is a gap analysis? Gap analysis is nothing but finding out the gaps between business and Oracle apps software. Once you find out the gaps, it means, okay, 10 screens have to be developed. Okay, 5 screens have to be changed. Okay, 10 reports have to be developed. 2 reports have to be modified. Okay, like this he will find out on the list. Once the list is done, okay, then you will see some other projects called as customization or development. So the first time whenever you are installing the software, when you're buying the software, installing, the first project is named as implementation. It means we are implementing Oracle application for a client. Whenever a new software is installed, it is called as implementation. So you are implementing a software to a client. After implementation is done, okay, once the software is installed, they'll find out the gaps, and from the gaps they will decide all the changes what you will do, that is called as customization. It means the existing one what you're changing. Anything new what you're developing is called as development. New developments. Okay, they will identify, they will list, okay, all 10 screens, 10 reports have to be developed, that is a development project, they'll separate it and they'll give it to a team. 2 reports and 10 reports have to be changed, 5 screens have to be changed. That is customization. So customization is something like you're changing the existing one which is already available according to his business, you're changing the screens and reports. So this is how the projects are identified. Okay. Next, once the customization is done and development is also done, okay, the complete package is modified according to his business requirement, and then the project is given, yes, now you can start using this product. But then after development and the customization is done, also in case he gets some issues, he gets some problems, who will be supporting it? We will identify that as one more project saying support project. And we will say that, yes, we have developed and we have done changes, we understand better the system, so we will support. Okay, no worries. It's simply like annual maintenance contract what we take whenever we take any particular system warranty or something, some 6 months or 9 months or something. If you want to avail the services, then you have to pay per annum this much. In the same way, we'll give him 6 months training and then 6 months support. We will give him free of cost or whatever included in the complete project plan itself, saying that this is how we can support initially. Later, if you want to continue, you can continue with us. Okay, we will be charging so. So this is how ERP software has been developed and how it comes into a client place, how it comes into an organization, how people will be working in that. Okay, this is how software flow goes into. So basically ERP software is a small product, okay, and it's a ready-made product which is available where customer can just buy that software, install it and start using it. So now you may ask me a question like, when a ready-made software is already available, what are we going to do? This is what we are going to do: customizations and developments and support. Okay, a product is already available, but as I said, it's a generic software which is developed on a generic base. So most of the time, the software matches to the client. Some people, after buying the software, they will say, no, this looks good to me. This looks good to me, and I don't want to do any changes. I don't want to spend any money more on this, and I don't want to do any developments. I'm fine. Whatever is available, I'll use it. It also happens like that. Okay, that is called as vanilla system. Vanilla system is the standard one which is given. He is using the same. Then they say, hey, client is using vanilla system. They named it as vanilla. So the client will buy the software, he'll start using it, and whenever he gets issues, he will get the support from Oracle because he has already taken the software from Oracle people. Oracle also will do the same thing. Okay, you have taken a software from me, so I will be supporting you for 6 months. After that, you have to pay for me, and I'll support in case of any issues. You're getting it in the software. Okay, and in case he says no, I just want because I've taken a product from you, and you will be supporting for me the issues what I get because you are the product developer and you have developed, so I have to get the support from you. Yes, it will say always, as you have already bought software from me, I'll definitely give a support for you. So by this, what we can understand is ERP is a software package. Okay, Oracle apps. Customer will be buying the software simply to use in his system because his software has different many softwares, as I told, small minor softwares included and integrated within the business system, and for your business whatever it is required, it will have all that. Okay, business areas like finance, HR, customer relationship management, like this. Those business areas, whatever the minor softwares, the mini softwares, what I'm talking, are called as modules. The term is called as modules. So it is a combination of different modules. What is a module? For finance people, what they have developed is one software that is called as one module. For purchasing people, they have developed one software that is called as one module. For sales people, he has developed a small software that is called as one module. All these modules are clubbed together and made as one package, and between these modules, inflow and outflow is there, as it is called as modules integration. Integrated or modules integrated software. Okay. So now next is roles. Who are the people who will be working? As I'm just repeating it: DBA, functional consultant, technical consultant. So we were talking about DBA. What he will be doing? He will be just installing the software, and he'll be taking everyday backups and all. Something is that he'll also do a recovery. So he will do all this. His job is to take backups and recoveries. But then, what is the technical consultant doing now? DBA has his own job to do something to install it. Functional consultant will be helping in mapping the business or in understanding the software and all. What is the technical consultant doing? As I said, for the first time, whenever we do, it is called as an implementation project, right? So when you talk about an implementation project for the first time, you are just taking the software, new brand software, and installing for the client. And I said after installing the software, functional consultant and customer will be sitting along, and then they'll be trying to understand the software and map the software with the business, and then they can find out the gaps, right? Before doing gap analysis, or after doing gap analysis also, what they will do is, first of all, the client, after installing the software, he should start testing the software, right? Once he starts testing only, he can identify which report is looking good or which screen is looking good. Once he sees all the data, the real data. That means whatever his business data is there in his old system before coming to Oracle application, he might be having an old system or a manual system. So all the data has to be entered into the Oracle application new system. Once the real data is there, then he will start looking into the real data and he can identify whether the calculations are being done properly, whether the data is being presented properly, whether the real data is getting fetched or not, all this kind of issues, right? So how did the real data will come into Oracle application? Technical consultant will be doing that job. Okay, getting the data into Oracle application is called as data migration. Okay, data migration is nothing but from legacy system. Legacy system is old system is called as a legacy system, and our system is called as Oracle application. From legacy to Oracle application, the data will be migrated using data migration concept by a technical consultant. So technical consultant will be doing all the developments, customization, data migration, providing a technical support for technical components like reports, screens, calculations, all this kind of stuff, coding part. Okay. So first time he will be doing data migration. Once the data migration is done, then the real data is already available in the system. Then a functional consultant and client can sit together and they can see that system and say, hey, this system works like this. Oh, the data is coming in. Now the calculation doesn't look good or fine. So all this will be done. A functional consultant will always give a requirement to the technical consultant what has to be done, and based on that, technical consultant will be developing a code and doing the task or work. So once the data migration is done, the gaps are identified. I said customization and development, right? So when you say customization and development, what happens again? The functional consultant will list out and say that, hey, these are the customization, these screens have to be changed. But what has to be changed? He will get the requirements from the client. Okay, on this screen, what you want to change, and then he will transfer to technical consultant, and technical consultant will be doing the changes, and he'll be giving to the functional consultant. Functional consultant will communicate again with the client saying, hey, this is what you're expecting, and this has been changed. So there's something like that relation between a functional consultant and technical consultant. Technical consultant is always in the background, okay, background, and then background kind of thing, wherein he will be doing only the technical part like coding and all. Now, when you talk about consultants, 3 people have DBA, functional, technical. All 3 people have some work. DBA will be installing, functional consultant will be interacting with the clients. He will take the requirements and then he will help to understand the system, the software to functional consultant. He will sit with the client and then he will do the gap analysis for everything. He is the first primary point of contact for a client or customer. Now, when you talk about roles, you have 3 people. In the same way, we already in the flow we have discussed about types of projects also. Okay, so as I said, the first project will be implementation. From there, you identify what changes have to be done, so that becomes a customization, and then development, and then support. So all these projects, all these are the 4 projects what we have. Apart from this, we have one more project called as upgradation. What is upgradation? We will be getting different releases in mobiles and all, right? Today we got iPhone 3, then we got 4, now we have got 5, 5C, 5S. Like this, we'll be getting a new release, and every release has its own features, okay, advantages, advanced features and all. In the same way, in software also we will have different releases. Okay, from the old release to new release, when you're trying to upgrade yourself, when you're trying to take a new release from old to new, already existing customers will be doing this. That is called as upgradation. So right now what we will be learning is release 12. Before release 12, there is something called as 11i. Okay. So 11i is something like 11i software is something a novel one which is already still existing in the market. Now from 11i, if the person is trying to change to release 12, that can be said as upgradation. He is upgrading from 11i to release 12. This is one of the software. They will find out both the differences from old software to new software. But people who are working with upgradation should know both 11i and release 12. Both releases they should understand so that they can find out the differences, and they will see whether this report which is working in 11i, is it working in release 12 or something is missing, or it's working properly or not. Do we need to do some changes to work in release 12, those kind of things. Okay, so these are the types of projects what we have. Any questions so far? Did you understand what exactly an ERP is?
Yeah, no question.
Next, I said a functional consultant will be working with the client and getting all the requirements, right?
Okay.
Now, when we say customizations and development,
do we have any differences
you can just
between
simply
this?
say,
Venkat?
yeah.
Do we have any differences between this 11i and R12?
Yes, we have.
Okay.
There are many differences in 11i and release 12. Not technically,
Okay.
but functionally we have some differences. Technically not much difference, but functionally we have new features which are available.
Okay.
So, when we say customization, when the customer says that this screen has to be modified or this report has to be modified, you can't just simply say that, hey, this screen has to be modified. Fine, it has to be modified, but what has to be modified? List out like what changes have to be done for the screen. What are you expecting? Okay, how the expected result should be, and what is the requirement that you're changing the screen? What is your business requirement? Tell me that and give all the details so that I can do the changes. That changes will be done by a technical consultant. But who will be asking all these questions to a customer? Technical consultant will not interact with the client. Most of the time a functional consultant will interact. A functional consultant and the client will be sitting together and they will be listing all the developments and customizations what have to be developed and what has to be customized, right? When they prepare that list, they will also prepare some documentation. Okay, they will prepare a documentation, okay, saying that, okay, you have 10 reports, so they will prepare 10 documents. For one report, they will list out all the changes. Okay, what changes? Okay, either some columns have to be added or some columns have to be removed, or the business calculation has to be changed. Okay, or the font of the report doesn't look good, or the design has to be changed how it is looking right now. Okay, all this kind of stuff will be documented. Okay, in the same way for development also, for customization or for development. Okay, if it is development, then what is the development you are expecting? Let's say a report. Okay, what is the data have to present on that report? It means the columns from the table, right? Whatever employee number, name, salary, bonus, all these kind of columns. Are there any calculations? If you have any calculations, do you have any formulas for that? Can you provide that? And Can you tell me how the design should look like? Any sample design with you? Okay. All this will be given to us by functional consultant. He will ask all this from a client and he will document all this. This documentation is given a name called as AIM methodology. Oracle has given a name for documentation saying that AIM methodology. Okay, it said there is something called as AIM methodology. You follow it. What is AIM methodology? Application implementation methodology. When you're trying to implement an application for a client, you follow one methodology. I followed a methodology. You also follow the same methodology because when you document it, everyone have their own style. They'll write it simply in a MS Word. Some people will write in other format like this. Instead of that, and you will save that particular document with some name. Okay, some people may understand, some people may not understand. He's saying, let me put some standard names for the documentation so that every consultant who works in Oracle apps can understand when I say the document name. So whenever I refer to the document, he can understand, oh, this is a design document now. This is an implementation document. This is functional document. This is a technical document. Okay. What is a functional document and what is a technical document? Functional document is something where a functional consultant will be preparing. A technical document is something where a technical person will be preparing. First of all, whenever a new software is given by Oracle, as I said, functional consultant will always discuss with the client, and then it's a new brand software which is having nothing right now. I mean, it is only a software which is test data, sample data. First of all, when you want to start your software, the client will expect, hey, can you change, whenever I see the screens, I see something, can you change in the welcome screen, can you change to my company name? Can you change, can you put some logo of my company? Okay. And Oracle has given something called as business areas, which are nothing but called as departments for me. Can you create departments for me? Can you create all my employees in the system? Then he will say, I'm using a currency called as USD, but I can see an INR currency here. Can you list out everywhere USD? And he will say, he will explain, hey, this is my organization, these many branches I have, these are the people who are working, and this is the business what I'll be doing in each and every branch. He will have an organization structure, right? Basically. So the same organization structure has to be replicated in the sense created here in your system. So functional consultant will be doing all that. He will create an organization, he will create a company, he will create departments, he will create employees. He will build a structure, hey, what currencies he is using. Okay, all this will be built by functional consultant. Okay, for a client. Now, whenever he prepares all that, he also needs some discussion with the client saying that, hey, can you tell me how many departments you have, how many people you have, what are the HR, human resource department will be doing, what divisions you have, what are the grades and positions you have, supervisor, senior manager, vice president, okay, product manager, CEO, what is that hierarchy you follow, so that you put the same name, because whenever the client opens the software, he is expecting all that business terms what he should have here, okay, so all this have to be done. For that, again, functional consultant will be preparing one more document. So while preparing this software, Oracle has followed this AIM methodology. So he says that, why can't you also follow the same? So that what happens, any person who goes to any organization who is working as a consultant, Okay, he can understand by this software, he can understand, oh, this document refers to this, I know, I understand. In general, when we go to a new job, what happens? A company will be giving some 5 or 6 days training for us to understand their business terms, to understand their business process, everything. Fine, now I worked for 2 years in this company. I left this company and I went to another company. That company again, it will start telling me all that business terms and all. Then there will be definitely a difference between company to company saying, oh, the same thing was referred as something else there. In one school it is referred as grade, in one school it is referred as class, or it is referred as percentage, okay, and in some classes it is referred as grades, okay, the same percentage is given as grades now, okay, fine. So there is some minor differences. So instead of again taking some time to understand, what he says is put some standard name. Always use some standard functionality or standard terms, so that a consultant who is working, consultant is nothing but a person who will be working for ERP, okay, whether a functional, technical or DBS. They can understand by seeing the document, by referring to the term, they can understand easily, oh, this is what I have already done there. It's the same everywhere. So that everyone will be in the same page, okay, and it will be easy to identify. So what is the numbers I'm referring to? What is that document methodology, application implementation methodology when you refer? It starts with something called as BR100. They have given some name. They said this is the first document which has to be prepared by a functional consultant, okay, whenever he is trying to implement the software for a client. What is BR100? Business Requirement 100. What I told you, how many departments you have, what is the organization name, what are the employees, who are the employees, okay, what hierarchy you have, all that organization structure will be configured by a functional consultant, okay, and then that will be documented with the BR100. So it means he will gather all the requirements from the functional, from the client. He will document everything in the BR100, Business Requirement 100. The numbers, there's nothing a meaning for a number. They just kept some numbers on fly at that time, and they're just following that. There's no meaning for that number. So Business Requirement 100 has to be prepared, okay. And once Business Requirement 100 is prepared, then he will list out all the changes. Once the configuration is done, the functional consultant job is done, then he will prepare something called as MD50. Okay, this is also called as FDD in other terms. Functional Design Document. Okay, in other technologies like .NET, Visual Basic, Java, these people, they will be calling as functional design document. So what this functional design document will have? As I told you above, if you have report something, if you have to do some changes, what changes have to be done, what has to be added, what has to be removed, what calculations, what font, what size. Okay, all these details will be given in MD50. And what is the report name, where I should actually look into that report. Okay, what is the logic behind, what is the business requirement, why actually he's trying to change, what is the business scope on that, who has reviewed this document, who has prepared it. Okay, there will be one person who will be preparing it and the other person will be reviewing whether the document has been prepared properly or not. So all this will be, details will be given there in MD50. So by studying the MD50, we can understand the business requirement, or this is what the client is expecting, fine. Okay. Next, seeing that a technical consultant will be preparing something called as MD70. So this is all called as TDD, Technical Design Document. So a technical consultant will be preparing this by saying MD50. He will see, okay, this is the report, these are added. He said this has to be added, this has to be removed. We will also write the same. Okay, this is already added, this has been removed. This calculation has been followed, this font has been followed, the design has been presented. And apart from this, to do all this, what is the technical part I have done? I have written a select statement which is called as query. I have did a small function for a calculation purpose. Okay, and I had followed this business logic. Okay, this is the calculations what I have done. All that logic will be put in MD70. So it's almost an MD50. Apart from that, technically what you have done, you will document them. Why we have to prepare all these documents? Is it required? When we're trying to implement the software, when we don't document it, what happens is, next, after development and customization, whenever you're trying to support the product, support the client, the person who will be working next to you, it means after you have developed, everything is done successfully, completed, tested, accepted by the user, it's running smooth. One fine day you'll get an issue. So you may not be in the project, right, forever. Some other person will be working, but he don't know what changes you have done. Okay, what was the original requirement? Why you have done changes? All this he will not understand. It will take a lot of time to understand. To whom he will be asking? He can't ask business user. Maybe the same people who work for development may not continue in support. They may move to another project. So, to understand what has been done, what has been developed, kind of stuff, documentation is required. It will be easy for the other person when he identifies the problem, he will go through the document. Okay, this is change, these changes have been done. Either it is a development or customization. Okay, so that's the reason. Now when you go to any company, I go to TCS, they say MD70. When I go to Satyam, they say MD70. I already know what is MD70 because I've seen MD70s in TCS. Fine, it's same naming. Okay, and TDD and FDD is followed in other technologies to understand better. I'm just giving that in between. Okay, so he says, okay, I followed these numbers, you follow the same numbers. Every consultant will have the same feel that he already knows those. Once MD70 is done, then we will start development. The real development will be done. Real development means the coding part will be started. Once development is done, testing. Okay, prepare some test scripts. How actually others can test. Later give it to the functional consultant. He will test it. Functional testing is done. User testing is done. And the user acceptance is done. User says that yes, this is good. Okay.
Venkat?
Yeah.
Your voice is a bit low. Can you speak louder?
Yeah. So MD70 is done, then development will be started, testing will be done, test scripts are prepared by technical consultant itself. Then a functional consultant will test, user will test, he will accept, and then we will say sign off. Sign off with this, we'll agree, yes, this is done, development is done now, the payment. Okay. So they will prepare BR100, MD50, MD70. Okay. But testing, right, after functional testing is done, okay, that sometimes you will also have testing team who will be testing. They will prepare some document called as TE50, testing document 50. After user acceptance has been done, there is something called as migration of object. It means whatever you have developed, that is called as an object. MD120, migration document 120. Migration document will be done, migration will be done by the DBA because we will not have permissions to migrate. Okay. In development, we will be doing development and all. To the real system, to the real business system, if you want to move this report what you have developed, only a DBA can do. But DBA doesn't understand how to move and all. You have to prepare a document for him. Hey, copy this, do this, paste here, go to this place. Okay, test it. All these instructions have to be given in MD120, migration document. And in testing document TE50, they will just prepare a checklist. This is working, this is not working, this is working, like that checklist. So basically BR100, MD50, MD70, TE50, and MD120 are the documents what we will be following in a development, customization or support, whatever it is. For the first time when you do a customization or development, you will follow all this, and later whenever a support is done, okay, support is given by other people, they will just have these documents for reference purpose. Okay. So a methodology we discussed about roles who will be working in consultant as a consultant. We also discussed about the types of projects, what kind of projects we have. Tomorrow we'll continue the discussion. I have a power cut at 7 o'clock, maybe in 5 minutes. So I just want to stop this.